Hey, it's the church from the main menu where scary things happen, but it's daytime. This church has got some crazy stained glass windows. Are we going to see the father, then, that blessed the house? Interesting. As it turns out, I do have another choice. I'm not a religious person. I won't identify myself as such. Or rather, I can't. Sure, my grandparents didn't have to force me to go weekly. I'd happily join them. In fact, most of my childhood, Sundays have been spent attending service. It's simply that, as you get older, the more experiences you get, forming your own beliefs on things becomes easier, for the lack of a better word. And at one point, it just stopped. That kind of thing. Nevertheless, I hold no disdain for it. Sometimes it does help. When things are really, really bad. When the dreams won't stay where they should be. Talking does. A bit. It's also a good thing Father Norman's... Well, he's not completely the pious man you'd typically expect. My unlikely friendship only probably happened because he's the kind of guy who's cool with the young ones, as he so aptly puts. And he is, surprisingly. It makes him easy to approach. Like that one time with Isabella. I don't think he believes in the ghost kind, but there he went. Maybe he has something to say about the photos as well. Maybe he's being haunted by the ghost lady as we speak. It won't hurt, since I've already gone ahead and went to Anselm. At daybreak. On my bike. At the very least, I know I won't get shouted at by whoever answers the door.
Unless someone does that inside a church. I highly doubt it.
Despite its age, the Luxburn Church is a thing of wonder in itself, with its high vaulted ceilings and intricate stained glass windows. One of the many gifts the Ermengarde family donated to the community in its early days. Or so I heard from Rebecca. That explains the crazy stained glass windows, probably. She mentioned this once, although most of it flew over my head then. At this time of the day, the church is mostly empty. Save for a few visitors and ushers shuffling about, some muttering their prayers under their breath. I really like the music in here, by the by. The scene of burning candles and incense permeate the air, giving the place a general feeling of reverence. Pretty welcoming, all in all. Even so, I keep the noise my treads make to a minimum. Disturbing the quiet feels like a sin alone. An usher points me to a pew in front of the altar when asked where Father Norman prays. He mentioned something about the good priest not being in good health. Well, ghosts will do that to you. Ever since he did a favor for a friend to bless an old house. This is the first time in days he's left his room. No surprise there. With the weird heat lately, even Rebecca caught something. Nervous little chap, the kid. Nevertheless, he leads me close to the foot of the dais, with a reminder not to stay too long before walking off. Seconds later, Father shifts and stands. He doesn't seem to have noticed me, and I have to give him a little tap on the shoulder. When he looks, though, to say he's surprised is an understatement.
Stay away.
That is unfortunate. It's me, Father. Man, she's just been haunting you like mad, hasn't she? His voice comes out a whisper, almost inaudible in the hush, a quiet, restrained deference to where we both are standing. But the tremor is there. He focuses on me with wide, bulging eyes, copious amount of sweat appearing on his forehead, despite the relative coolness of the place.
Father Norman?
Keep your distance.
Hey, it's me, Zach, remember?
Stay away, don't come near me.
It must be the fever talking, or whatever he caught, or that weird It has to be. I don't recall ever doing anything for him to drive me away like this. In all the years I've known him, he's been nothing but polite, nothing but accepting of people regardless of beliefs or status in life. For words akin to a threat to come out of him, it's simply beyond unimaginable.
Go back to where you came from. Leave.
Oh, that is so unfortunate.
Father, what did I do?
Leave, now.
I extend a hand to his shoulder, meant to be reassuring. But he recoils, his ankle catching on the edge of the daze as he backs away, and he died. His shout when I attempt to reach out again echoes through the entire hall, catching the attention of the few people inside. I try to keep a level tone, but with the stranger's eyes trained on us, panic starts to weave its way into me.
Stay away, demon! Go back to the hell you came from!
Father, it's okay. I only came here for some pictures I thought looked odd. I figured you might know something.
Oh dear, this is not the time. From my pocket, I fish out the photos and try to hand it to him. Instead, he strikes my wrist away, almost like an accusation, and sends the photographs fluttering uselessly to the floor. Helpless, I can only watch as he curls into himself on the ground, a sad, blubbering mess whimpering to himself. He tips his head forward and begins rocking, his hands clapped over his ears.
That accursed spirit, so full of anger and pain. All those horrible things I've seen. Can't sleep, can't eat everywhere I look.
Horrible things you've seen. Oh, I guess she does show visions sometimes. What has she been showing you?
Go away, go away. Go away. You're not supposed to be here. This is a house of God. Begone, demon. Lord have mercy, God our Lord, King of ages, all-powerful and almighty. You who made everything and transform everything simply by your will.
Man, I was not expecting this entire scene, but that was extremely interesting, and I feel bad for that guy. Oh boy. Ah! Disappointed because he wasn't able to accomplish his mission with Hana, Zachary went to his friend, Father Norman, for advice. However, in an unexpected turn of events, the priest vehemently pushed Zach away, yelling curses and calling him a demon. Well, unfortunately. A number of people have moved closer, mostly just to gawk. Thankfully, as if to save him from being an utter spectacle, 2 ushers come out, taking him away. One of them, the kid from earlier, shoots me an apologetic look. I can't even return it to him. Anxiety is a powerful thing, a firm little notion that clings, eats, and consumes you. I can still hear his prayers even as they drag him away.
May he keep at bay and vanquish every evil power, every poison or malice invoked against us by corrupt and envious people. Then under the protection of your authority may we sing in gratitude.
It rings, hums in me as I am left to pick up the pieces of this chaos. Back to square one we go. If there is salvation in this, I hope we find it soon. Not for him, probably. Oh. As promised? Oh, okay. Oh, she left us a note this time with a heart. Oh, this is even before the dance. Man, my brain went from, like, terrifying ghost lady going, to, oh, Hannah wrote us a little hand note with a pink piece of paper and a heart. This game. Oh, it's a roller coaster of emotions. Okay, as promised, Miss Wright had my bike delivered back to my apartment. Found it parked in the rack downstairs with an invitation and a note tacked to it, in fact. Be there, it said. If only it were that easy, but it'll give me a chance to talk to her and dance. About that thing in their house. He didn't bring it up on her chapter. I wonder if we'll see the dance from his perspective? With a sigh, I let my hand fall to the side of the bed along with the invitation. I'll think about it tomorrow, when my head ain't muddled with thoughts of a headless woman and the haunting smiles of a ghost. Belatedly, I need to eat. In other words, I should really eat. Oh, thank goodness.
London Bridge is falling down, falling down.
Kylie time.
falling down.
Kylie's alive.
London Bridge is falling down.
Kylie.
My fair lady, take a key and
I was gonna say, I'm really glad they didn't speed up the ghost crawling up your legs towards your face.
My fair lady. lady.
Okay, so what sentiment is hypocritical?
London Bridge is falling down, falling
Easier
down,
to run,
falling down.
easier to
London
hide.
Bridge is falling
Though the
down,
sentiment's a little
my
hypocritical when you think
fair
about my
lady.
little talk with Miss
Take
Wright the
that
other
key
day.
and lock him up,
But that's just how it
lock him
is.
up, lock
Maybe
him
it really
up.
is better
Take
if I
that key.
just...
Hey, mister!
Hey, Kylie. I'm glad you're okay right now. I'm gonna try to...
Leave us alone! What did we do to you?
Interesting. Leave us alone. Huh. The response never comes, however. Because when I blinked... Gone. Interesting, so he yelled at her this time. Okay, so we've read that before. What's happening now? Okay, Isabella breaks it first, and this is different. Isabella breaks the silence first.
We just thought we should check on you. After what happened to Rose,
Please don't tell me something happened again.
No, nothing. None so far. And we're keeping it that way as much as possible.
Ash, it's not that easy. This isn't some...
We don't know that. Let me...
The bitter frustration in his tone is impossible to miss, but he catches it as soon as Isabella draws back. He allows himself a moment to breathe before dropping it for one less harsh, more tempered. Gentler.
Let me look at this first, okay? I agreed to help, but you've got to let me handle things from now on.
Are we back?
I already told you everything.
Okay, now this is all different. Okay.
There must be something we're not seeing in this just yet. We'll sort this out, but no more silly ideas and running around on your own. You're making people worry more than necessary. Becca, especially.
So everything's fine?
Depends on who you're asking. How are things with you? Anything odd?
Oh yeah.
Good, I guess. Admittedly, how things went down at the housewarming party last night threw me off a bit.
Was that last night? Already? Hold on. Hold the phone. Oh yeah, it is, because this is... Oh. Okay, so we skipped the dance. Drat. I was hoping for more interaction with that.
I'm not asking about that.
I saw you dancing in the garden.
Remember the letter thing Isabella's been yapping on about? I'm asking about that kind of odd.
I look at him. Gaped, more like. His serious expression doesn't waver, despite the perplexed look I shoot him. There is a brief second I let pass as I wait for the heavens to fall somewhere. It doesn't come. The sky is still bathed in vibrant reddish hues as it waits for the night to arrive. Luxburn is still the same busy city, and everything in my room still appears as it did a second ago, including the unnerving ticking of my wall clock. But if Ashton, calm, cool, collected, always logical Ashton, takes interest in this, something or someone must have fucked shit up somewhere.
Well, the dreams, they're a lot worse than usual. There's a woman now, ever since we saw that letter. I don't know if it's the same one Isabella talked about. Maybe it is, maybe it ain't.
Does she go, ah, all the time?
I really don't want to go back to sleep sometimes. Last night was the worst.
Agreed.
Anyway, why are you asking about this?
Rose's death isn't just a coincidence, Zach. It may have something to do with... I may have...
Wait, stop right there for a sec, Bella. I thought you ain't buying this stuff, Ash. Just the other day, you said the exact same thing.
I still don't, but even Rebecca, out of all people, claims there's something. Whatever this is, someone has got to look into it. Everything about this screams shady.
Are you sure you even have the time? Ain't you busy with your current case?
I got taken off that one.
You didn't say you were taken off your case.
I just got the news this morning. Apparently the higher-ups think I'm doing a horrendous job at it. It doesn't matter though. If these two cases are connected like I initially thought, then regardless, I'm on the right track.
Are you sure we should even be doing this?
Doing what exactly?
There's someplace we'll visit after this.
Too vague for comfort, Ash. And please don't tell me you're bringing her with you.
Okay, we might be caught up. Yes. Okay. We can still fix this.
It ain't too late. We could still fix this. There's 3 of us here.
I think we were maxed out with her anyway, yes. But we got some with Ashton as well, which is always good. Our Holmes boy. Okay, this should be the QTE.
Leave! Leave now!
Or... Okay, I think we have established that. So we need to let Zachary die here.
There's nothing here for you!
There's a brief moment of silence after, and for a short while I think my pleas worked. Oh boy, here we go. Just out of curiosity, I'm just gonna look around to see if I can actually see her. I think you actually have to take... I think you have to take a picture to actually lessen the smoke in here so you can actually see anything. I just gotta wait for the battery to run out. Yeah, you really can't see nothing. Oh, I think I see her? Is that her eyes? That or it's the moon. Alright. Man, this countdown, 42%. $32. Oh, there she is. Okay, so you don't need to. Alright, is everybody ready? 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Happy New Year! Whew. Okay, that wasn't too bad. That was less terrifying than the crawling up the legs. Whew. Do we get relationship with Takako? No. Okay. We are just going to skip that. Phew.
You again. It's bloody 6 in the morning.
Thanks, Luke. I needed that. Do you know you have a dark shadow figure behind you?
What the hell is it now?
Listen, sir, I know this is not a good time.
Oh, it's not a good time. Did you even check the clock before coming here? I bet you didn't.
No.
Unlike you, the ones living in this house need to sleep. Come back when people are actually awake, or I'll call security on you.
Okay.
What do you want?
Oh my goodness, he is so pissed at her this time around. Like, go away!
You're already dead! Leave us!
Dang. That's a little cold, Zachary. You're already dead, so just go away. Nothing. I don't even know who I'm talking to, or if a sane person is supposed to be doing that. The only thing I got after is a feeling of foolishness washing over me. Or perhaps this is just me losing my mind. Alright. So we're gonna look around. Do not enter the open window. Alright. Zachary is still alive, thank goodness. And now we're back with our Irish lass. And we start working on her relationship with whiskey. Which is gonna be a lot of fun. Don't know if fun's the right word, but hey. There she is, our Irish giantess, 5'11". Okay, so I have been assured that I do not have to sex in order to get with Luke. So we're gonna leave that for another time and say this is wrong because he liked that last time.
We're both drunk.
Did we start positive with him, or did we get like a ton? I'm really curious now. I should have checked that before clicking that option. Huh. I wonder if... Hold on. If I go to the main menu... I just want to try something. Nah. Too late. Okay. Well, that is a big boost. So let's just keep going. Regardless, that was the right choice for that. Maybe he liked it even more because he's on the outs with Hana, although this is before then, so doesn't really make sense. Okay, what else do we have? Some tea and befriending Becca. And I think we did You Have Something to Say? Okay, maxed out with Bella again. Have an awkward conversation there. Okay. This is where things start to go wrong for Marianne. I think... Okay. So, the first time I stayed here, and we saw our old love, I can't remember her name, behind the couch, reflected in the TV. And then Hana came down, and I think we got relationship points with Hana? So this time we heard a crash. I mean, there was a crash last time. But let's check it out and see what ghosts await us there. The crash came from the hallway, and I really shouldn't be snooping about. But it's just concern. Yeah, concern that urges me to check it out. Sneaking a glance at the butler, I consider sneaking off, but...
Excuse me, but where's the loo?
He barely looks my way before pointing a spatula towards the hallway. It's a good excuse as any. And if I'm caught lingering longer than I should, I could just excuse myself and say that I wasn't sure which door led to where. Oh yeah, that's not creepy at all. Still looking into the hallway reveals nothing. I don't see anything that might have caused the crash other than this radio on the floor. The hallway, like the rest of the place, is in pristine condition. There are several doors for not only the toilet, but also, presumably, rooms for their butler and for other members of the staff. As I stand there, however, something feels definitely out of place. One of the doors, the nearest within my reach, stands ajar, and from inside a light flickers incessantly. It could simply be a light bulb that needs replacing. But the thought of it in a place so well taken care of seems odd. Off. I think that maybe this is where the crash came from. Inside I can spy a radio lying on the floor and think maybe that's what the crash was. That's probably it, right? Maybe one of the help, in a hurry to get out of the room, knocked over it in the process. If that's all it is, I should really leave it alone. As I turn to leave, the sound of static fills the air and a man's tinny voice interrupts the silence.
At 7 in the morning, students found a 5th year dead.
Why am I still standing here?
Assumed to have fallen from her dormitory window.
Oh, it's the news from that day, isn't it? This seems familiar, doesn't it?
Authorities are investigating the possibility of foul play.
Like I've heard it before.
Reporting from St. Samthins, Shane McLaughlin of Galway Bay, AM.
What the?
Man, she handled that like a champ. That face! Oh, I should have expected that. Okay, that was a lot more in your face than just sitting and waiting. Good grief. Marianne visited the Wright's penthouse to discuss work with the couple. While waiting for them, Marianne decided to investigate a violent crash she heard. In the hallway, there was something odd. Very odd. I recoil, backing away from whatever that was. In the process, I trip backwards on my feet, and I wait for the pain of falling flat on my back. But instead, I feel a hand on my back and see the smug smile of, well, guess who? Okay, well, I guess I'm glad to see you.
Oh, don't tell me you're reporting to work drunk, Mint.
Oh boy. Of course, I know exactly who that voice belongs to. It just have to be him.
Marianne McCullough, hammered on the job? That would be something.
Well, hello. But
Wouldn't dream of it, Whiskey. You're allowed to be if you want it, though it's a bit early for it. So thanks for the save.
aw, you guys flirting, it's so cute. Really, it is much appreciated. Even though the circumstances during our first meeting were not savory or wholesome, I can't bring myself to completely look at Mr. Wright in a bad light. I mean, he did stop when you said, you know, enough's enough, I don't want to go through with this, so you gotta respect him. You gotta respect him for that. Nothing came out of it after all.
It's no trouble at all. I've been told I have a gift for catching pretty ladies, being a great catch myself.
Oh, God. Never mind, I take it all back.
Is that so? Would you say you'll be able to catch if another man were to pitch?
Oh.
Perhaps, but I wouldn't know. I don't play baseball, Mint.
I think you kind of missed the point.
Right. Of course you don't.
I can't help but chuckle at my little joke, but it looks like it completely went over his head. If he had understood it, I guess it would have been inappropriate. He is my client, after all. Speaking of which... Luke appreciates professionalism, so... I have work to do, sir. Yeah. News it. Straightening my jacket, I clear my throat and look at him dead in the eye. He isn't Whiskey anymore. He's just another client that I have to cater to. Certainly, I can reason with him. He might not be such a bad guy, as he didn't push when I told him no. Maybe that night had been a slip on his part. I have to at least make it clear that I'm here strictly on business, and that nothing is to happen between us because of that night.
It'll be Miss McCulloch to you from now on, though. It'd be best if we keep things professional, Mr. Wright.
Mm-hmm.
I have an image to uphold, and I presume that the same goes for you. It won't do to have any untoward rumors about the two of us about a night that didn't even happen, no?
Good point.
I'd like to keep calling you Mint, actually. If we're to convince everyone that nothing happened,
Nothing happened.
that'd be much, much more convincing.
Fine. But I'm only here as your interior designer. Nothing else.
And I'm just gonna read a journal entry on that. Oh god, this face. A very spooked Marianne accidentally bumped into Luke Wright. Although things were awkward between the two, Marianne insisted they keep things professional and simply forget about what happened or didn't happen nights ago. The dead air between us, because it can't be anything else but that, is broken as a lively voice calls out from the loft.
Marianne! I hope I haven't kept you waiting too long. I know we agreed we'd start at 10 o'clock, but mornings just simply do not agree with me. Not one bit. It's been like this since I've been in university.
It's been like this since I came out of the womb. It's 5 minutes to 11 o'clock. These high-end clients sure like to be fashionably late. I'm used to it, though. Much like how I'm used to so many years of hearing people mispronounce my name. Besides, berating or correcting my client would be extremely impolite, and Marianne doesn't sound too bad when she says it. To be fair, it doesn't seem like she's late on purpose.
I see you're up, darling. You know, you could have woken me up as well. Were you showing Marianne around? Not that there's much to see. This place is so tiny compared to the mansion.
I'm more worried about the way she stares at me, judging. Such a look. It doesn't suit her pretty face at all. Just seeing Mrs. Wright reminds me too much of her. And maybe I'm starting to hear her again, see her again when I shouldn't. I should have left it all behind, forgotten it. To think she would be looking at me that way. I can just feel my hands tremble.
Oh yes, just showing her around and getting to know each other. Isn't that right, Marianne?
Yes, of course. And your butler was making breakfast a while ago. So if you want to get right to that,
breakfast would be lovely.
Alright, breakfast time. Not awkward at all. I can't remember if I said to compromise or not. I was kind of going back and forth between you two, trying to even it out. Okay, so I lost affection with her, gained some with Luke. I really wish they didn't look at me like that. This is their decision to make. But if they want to ask for a professional's point of view, I'll be happy to give my 2 cents.
You can still have a garage.
I can't remember. Okay, we did. I thought we did. Like, I feel like we might have done that. Seems kind of familiar. Okay, so we've read that before. So last time we went to the first floor, so this time we're gonna check the ground floor and maybe run into Luke again. Was this where we had the interaction with the mirror? I think so. So the mirror's not down here. Are we gonna end up on the first floor anyway? Alright, just because there's one troublesome client shouldn't mean I'll let him get in the way of my work. You got this, girl. The parlor is my first destination. Mostly because I figure Mr. Wright is hiding down in the wine cellar and making plans there. I'm going to bump into him sooner or later, but I'd rather make it later. Much, much later. The place, upon closer inspection, is in good shape. I don't doubt this place was done with the most care, considering it would be one of the first rooms visitors would see during the open house. There's a stain on the carpet, most likely by one of the guests at the time, but it isn't anything a good cleaning can't get rid of. Next is the music room. Or at least that's the plan.
Locked? Oh, come on now.
Why is everything locked in this house? I rattled the doorknob again, harder this time, to double check and even give it a good budge to see if it isn't a problem with the door itself. But no, definitely locked. That is weird, considering the rest of the rooms aren't. It could just be this one, though. And I can try the other door through the ballroom if I really want to get in. Well, that's not ominous, and that's when I hear it. The sound of a piano. Oh god, it's probably him in there fiddling around with the piano, because he plays piano. Although, I can't really see Luke just playing one note over and over again. It makes the hairs on the back of my neck stand, and I back away from the door. Though I wasn't exactly the superstitious sort, what am I going to do? The room is locked. I can just go back to it later, maybe see if I can go through the ballroom and... Alright, with that mischievous look on your face, maybe it was you. The music room door opens, and who else but Luke Wright stands by the doorway. He looks a lot like a cat that ate a canary, and I didn't appreciate the way his eyes linger on me.
Isn't it common sense that locked doors mean someone wants a bit of privacy? You needn't try to break the door down.
Well, you needn't try to freak me out with your ominous piano playing, sir.
Or did you just want to see me again that badly without the misses? I don't see why you would, though, Mint. Nothing really happened between us.
Well, I wasn't looking for whiskey. I was just going around to do my inspection. Thought it needed a push, just in case the door was stuck and actually needed repairs.
There.
So you really are some fancy interior designer, huh? Had you told me you were one, I would have called you a piss taker.
Hod?
I figured you'd be, I don't know, an assistant going for a drink after a week with a tosser of a boss.
I'm just glad you thought me any sort of professional with how ossified I was. I must have not looked the part, so I understand your surprise.
He doesn't offer a witty retort, and he grows quiet for a moment.
At first glance, Hannah didn't look like some fancy finance manager when I first met her either.
Good point.
She was the pretty daughter of this rich, powerful man. When she was introduced, they told me that she was not there as the man's daughter, but as a part of management. I thought it dubious. All the beautiful women I knew before her, they used their looks to get what they want. And there she was, with all that she could ever need in life. And yet she works hard to earn her keep.
It sounds like you admire her.
Mm-hmm. Hearing that, I too can't help but feel admiration for Mrs. Wright.
You enjoy your job, don't you, Mint?
It helps me earn my keep, as you would put it.
Ha!
A bit strange to say out loud, but it gives me purpose as well.
Do you think then that, maybe, Hana would want to go back to being a working person?
Maybe. I mean, it probably beats sitting in a big house by yourself all day. Taken aback at his question, I wait for further clarification. What makes him ask this? And why me, of all people, right? Maybe there's something about you that... I mean, he did say he had like a similar thought process when he met Hana for the first time, so maybe he figures you might be able to shed some light on it because you're similar in a way to him? I don't know. But when I see that no explanation is coming, I think that I would not speak for her at all. You should ask her.
Shouldn't you be asking her this? Isn't her opinion much more important than that of someone you just met in a pub a few nights ago?
Eh? Yeah. Wow, that went up a ton as well. Good grief. Luke really likes you.
You're a woman, and I figured you might know more. I mean, people are always saying that women are fulfilled by having husbands and having a good home. But then I see ones like you who look happy having jobs. Maybe she's like you, and having a job would be better for her.
So he's noticed she hasn't been happy for a while. The Luke Hana feels are coming back.
Just because I'm a woman? You do know we don't all think the same way. But I don't know. I'm not married or anything, but this shouldn't be a complicated matter. She's your wife for how many years? Talk to her. Ask her what she wants. Don't you guys talk during supper or something?
That gets him thinking. Or at least it looks like it does.
Well, I should let you get back to work. Thanks for talking with me, I suppose.
You're welcome.
Right. But anything goes awry if you take my advice. Just remember that I'm not some marriage counselor. So take it with a grain of salt.
Don't sue me.
My marriage goes down the shitter, I'll sue you. Noted.
No, I just said don't sue me.
Wait, that's not...
Too late. He takes a step back into the music room, shuts the door, and leaves me there looking gobsmacked. He wasn't serious, was he? That man. I don't understand him at all. One moment he's this huge arse, and then he's this person the next.
Odd guy. Still needs a good arse kicking if you ask me.
Probably accurate. Okay. So forget about going into the music room then. That's fine. He'll have to go out there sooner or later. In the meantime, I can go around and check the rest of the house. All my worries fade when I step into the ballroom. And... well, the whole place is just grand, isn't it? I can see why the Wrights made sure nobody else would take this place from them. Anyone who has it will certainly be the belle of the ball. It's pretty much one great big status symbol. I don't think I can do much of a thorough inspection in this room, so I note it down for later. Moving on to the kitchens, I check the ventilation and the general fire safety in the kitchen. This bit is important for a place this size. I would, of course, suggest bringing an actual fire safety inspector over for a more detailed inspection. It wouldn't do to see such beautiful architecture go up in flames, after all. Yes, I take measurements of the countertops and cabinets, note down what type of wood they use. They wanted some of these recreated to hide modern appliances. There's a loose floorboard in the farthest corner, and some of the others had scratches, but everything else seems to be in decent shape. My concentration is broken when someone knocks.
You can come in. Door's not locked.
I wait, expecting Mrs. Wright or their butler to come in. But nobody entered. Great. Instead, there's that knocking again. It's louder and more urgent this time, and I'm pretty sure I didn't lock the thing.
All right. I'm coming. Just hold on.
When I move to open the door, though, I realize something. The knocking isn't coming from the door, but from somewhere else. The trap door? Why do you like hanging out in the cellar so much, Takako. I pause for a second, waiting, but the knocking has not ceased. Oh no. And soon enough it becomes desperate. The dull thuds from before switching to what seems to be scratching? Desperate and insistent at once, as if grasping for respite.
Is somebody stuck down there? Vic!
Oh. A cat? Where did that come from? How did it even get down there? That put the heart crossway in me, it did. I love cats, but they have no business giving people a fright. For a second there, all these ghastly rumors about this place had come flooding back. Now, peering into the darkness of the open trapdoor gets me thinking. And it gets me curious. Seriously, though, I should really make sure there aren't any more surprises from down under. No, don't go down there! I don't think the Wrights would appreciate it if we find a litter of kittens making a house of the wine cellar. Hana would probably be okay with it. Mr. Wright seemed the type to skin a cat if any of his precious wines were to be contaminated. I'm done with the kitchens anyway. Okay, so we're down here, huh? Going down a flight of stairs while wearing high heels is always a bad idea. Descending into the dark underground only made it worse, but I managed anyhow without any major slip-ups.
These stairs need work, that's for sure.
Surprisingly, the wine cellar is in a good condition. Lots of spider webs. No water damage from last year's flooding, and apart from the dust and cobwebs that have accumulated, the place will likely hold for several more years. Racks and barrels line the walls, making the spacious room look smaller than it is. I'm no expert, but it looks good enough for immediate use without any further additions. Bloody whiskey will be having a field day. I think so, anyway, until I feel something crunch beneath my feet. So we see that now. Whatever few bottles were left behind here are now nothing but glass under my heels. The cat's fault, I'd wager. And it made a downright mess with red slick pooling from the remnants of a good drink. There's a lot of the stuff for to have just been a few bottles, though. Yes. A whole trail of it flows from the end of the room, and I follow, fully expecting a leaking barrel or a whole upturned rack. Instead, it just keeps on going, and it stops in a large puddle at the very back wall.
What a waste of wine. Why is it so sticky, though? Ugh.
Oh, God. It's thick, too. Nothing like wine. Of course, it could just be mold.
Maybe it's not wine. Go on, touch it. I dare ya.
Okay, so you're just here out in the open, are you? No mirrors to hide behind? This is playing out quite a bit differently. Despite it all, I find myself answering. Because it's her voice. Amy Lorraine. Lorraine! Yes. Lovely Amy. Pretty Amy. I can imagine her standing there with me, laughing and pestering me as I did my work in the way only friends can. She was my friend, the only one that I had at St. Sampson's. I was a scholar, the charity case, in a school for privileged and prestigious young girls. They all looked down at me if they cared to look at me or acknowledge my presence at all. All except her. Sometimes I wish for the good old days when we were friends. Now she's nothing but a ghost, though I try so hard to get over her. I really, really do.
What am I, 5 years old? Oh, damn it, it's stuck under my shoe.
I double dare you. Hell, I double dog dare you. Don't be such a scaredy cat. It's probably wine.
You touch it then.
What else could it be? Blood?
She says with a smile.
Don't be ridiculous. Why would there be blood down here?
If I was the joking sort, I would have said it might be the reason why the previous owner sold the place. Maybe the ghost stories are actually true, and they wanted to get away from the walls that dripped of ectoplasmic goo and whatever other ghouls haunted about. Doubt it. I hardly believe in any of that voodoo nonsense as it is. But as I stare at the mess at my feet, probably looking like a fool while I'm at it, I notice something strange. It is invisible, unless one is really paying attention, but I can see the red gunk seeping through a crack in the wall.
What's this then?
I worry about structural damage and damage to the foundation. I worry about the wine cellar, as the wrong conditions can lend to the deterioration of its contents if temperature and humidity are not controlled. Up until I see how clean-cut the crack is. It runs along the edge of the wall and vertically along it, where a door would be. Pressing my hand against the wall lends credence to the idea as I try to feel where it would give way.
Ooh, could it be an adventure then? A secret passage. There must be a hidden switch somewhere.
She's not gonna get stuck down here already, is she?
Go look. This is the most interesting thing you've done by far.
If there's a hidden room here, that could certainly explain the discrepancy in the mansion's floor plans. It wouldn't be too far-fetched to think that there could be hidden rooms and passageways all over the house if we're to follow that logic. And boy, isn't that exciting. This feels like something straight out of a game. Suddenly, she touches my arm and I flinch away in shock. Okay, fine. I'm like, man, how long is she just gonna be like, yeah, Lorraine's here. This is fine. That shouldn't be possible. I understand auditory hallucinations. Maybe even visual hallucinations. But that was...
You look surprised. What's wrong?
That's not possible. You're...
dead?
Aren't you happy to see a dear old friend, though? I'm hurt, I am.
What the hell is going on here?
Oh, isn't it obvious? I've come back for you.
Okay, she's just going straight to, I'm evil. Not even pretending to be like, oh, Marianne, don't you remember how we used to love each other? Don't you want to come and stay with me, Marianne? She's just like, I've come to kill you.
So that we can be together again.
When she touches me once more, I recoil. What does she mean, together again? She's dead.
No! Leave me alone!
Leave you alone? But I just got here.
Oh, thank goodness, Johans. Phew, good timing, ma'am. Turning around, I've met with the Wright's butler, who looks at me with an indifferent look. And when I look back, Lorraine is gone.
I wasn't talking to you, just thinking aloud is all.
Uh-huh.
You should really avoid talking to yourself, Kint. Do more of that and others will think you're insane.
Kind. What does kind mean? I know kinder is like child, but kind?
Yes, thank you. Is that all you're here for, or has your master sent you running down here for something?
Oh, no, I am just down here to admire the place. I've not been inside before. I thought I would look around before we return to the city. The car is already running, you see, and I suggest you go back to the foyer, unless you wish to be left behind. It seems you are in good company already, after all, with this house and your imaginary friend.
How much did you hear?
Wait, we're leaving already? But I haven't finished inspecting the rest of the house.
Be that as it may, there's a sulking man-child up there who wishes to go home. We are all subject to his whims, lest he throw a tantrum.
I can't help but smile at that. He's a strange guy. I still can't imagine how he can work for a guy like Luke Wright, though. I imagine the blonde arse ain't an easy guy to get along with. Whatever the butler was having to tolerate that, I want 10 of it. No kidding.
And we wouldn't want any soiled knickers or spilled milk. Why don't you go head on and I'll be right there.
Very well. Do be careful on your way back. I saw some broken glass on the way and it would not do to cut yourself on them.
I will, yeah. Just tell Mr. Wright not to blow a gasket or anything. I'll be just a minute.
Speaking of blowing gaskets, there's something else dangerous here. Whatever is behind that door, it could pose some problems. Best case scenario, it'd only ruin good stocks of wine. But who knows what's behind that false wall? I'll have to come back to it. Interesting. So she didn't run out screaming, like when we went upstairs. So she's not shaky. She's also not I don't know. It's gonna be interesting seeing her interactions with Lorraine this time. Knowing what I had seen there. That curious thing in the wine cellar, which is stuff I'd only read about from fucking horror stories. And her. I should feel the slightest bit hesitant. I was lucky. I've seen enough films to know what happens when a promiscuous woman enters a haunted house. I know. I'm going to bed. That's what I know. Okay, so you still dream of the two of them. Oh, the mirror's in your dream now. Weird. Super weird. Marianne examined the ground floor upon arrival at the mansion. With Luke Wright barring her entry into the music room, she headed to the wine cellar. A ghost from her past visited her there. Despite that, she gave her word that she would see through the project until the end. That's the mirror from my dream. Alright. Do not eavesdrop. Okay, we are maxed out. That's a good sign. Ask if he's alright.
Hey, are you alright there, Whiskey? You're looking like you need a serious drink.
Okay. We're good. And I'm leaving. To run into Holmes. Those two.
Please, I just lost something the last time I was down there. It's really important.
Okay. So, it's not the mirror. This time. Okay. Just out of curiosity. Let's see. I just want to see if she's like, I need to see her again. Mrs. Wright, Mrs. Wright. Okay, so she's looking for closure down there still.
15 minutes. 9. 10 minutes. Any longer and I'll pull you out of there myself.
Okay, let's see what happens. So there won't... I mean, the mirror's still down here. Oh, I can see it. Can actually see it with... Why would you... Who's like, this will be a great centerpiece. Let's put 2 torch sconces on either side to make it stand out. I thought they were... Was this like this last time and I was just really blind? Because I just always imagined it was off to the side, lying in a heap. Maybe I'm just not observant. I almost hope, in a morbid and twisted sense, that Lorraine would just be standing there waiting for me. It would be just like her to joke about inappropriate meeting in dark, secluded areas. But just like the broken bottles and wine that was spilled on the ground before, no trace of her can be found.
Lorraine! Where are you, Lorraine?
Lorraine!
I miss you, you know?
Only silence replies. Funny that when you want to find something, that's the time when you can't. The thought that I wouldn't be able to see Lorraine one last time fills me with such despair. Sure, it was crazy to come here willingly in the first place, but all I'm really looking for is closure. And if I can't see her, the least I can do is offer her a prayer. On the verge of tears, I kneel in the middle of a dark, damp wine cellar and put my hands together in prayer.
May God grant her eternal rest and...
That is when her laughter fills the air. It rings along the walls until it echoes in my head. And like a siren song, it draws me in before it comes to a stop upon reaching a dead end.
Ooh, could it be an adventure then? A secret passage? There must be a hidden switch somewhere. Go look! This is the most interesting thing you've done by far.
A secret entrance, although the idea in and of itself is inane, only makes this entire endeavor even more perilous, but I need to find a way to open it. Already, I'm running my hands against the wall in order to find some sort of hidden switch. It didn't give when I tried to push it open before, and I doubt that would have changed any time soon. But if there's a door, there's always a way to open it, hopefully without the need to break it down.
Shame I can't roll for perception checks in real life.
That would be very handy. It's such a silly thing to say out loud, although there is no amusement on my face, and I do check, glancing at the mirror from the study.
Though a sanity check would be more fitting right now, wouldn't it?
I mean, how long have I been down here, searching for the switch of a hidden door? In order to go find a dead girl, no less. It isn't only unreasonable, it's insane. At this point, they'll find me clawing at the walls, using my nails to try and see if there are any grooves or catches I might have missed. I'm surprised I haven't gone past the 10 minutes that was given to me and that I'm not being hauled out of here. I don't want to bank on the chance that I have more time, although I know it's... I really shouldn't let these kinds of things bother me too much right now. If I don't continue looking, there's no point in me going down here. Dirt and rocks stick underneath my fingernails in my search, but there! A section of the wall about the size of my palm and just as well hidden as the hollow wall is a switch. Or a button, rather.
Face it, Tigress. You've just hit the jackpot.
Uh-huh. The excitement I feel at the discovery finds me pressing it without a second thought. But when a click echoes in the cellar and the hidden door creaks open, I stop. What should I do? I don't know. I'm scared. This is like last time we ran into Lorraine and she's like, stay with me or leave me behind, and that was like very obvious. I feel like this is the last choice for Marianne's route, which means this determines whether she dies or not. Okay, I'm going to operate off of the assumption that she needs to go in there to get stuck in a cell so that Ash can save her later. That probably doesn't make any sense. If I die, I am reloading this because I have an order of things I want to do stuff in, gosh darn it. Okay, let's go. No time like the present. I have to hurry, and I turn around when there's a crash. In my haste, I bumped into the mirror, making it fall to the ground and shatter into 100 pieces. Okay, so the mirror still breaks. And shit, I hope that isn't an original piece. I don't think my insurance will be able to cover it. I can probably find an imitation to replace it, and... Okay, well, I'm in here now. Desperate to deal with her painful past, Marianne McCullough excused herself from attending the housewarming party to search for Amy Lorraine within the mansion. But in the process, she stumbled upon an underground prison hidden in its deepest corners. The door slammed shut behind me, and I nearly have a heart attack because of it. But when I see a much more visible lever on this side, I calm down and shake my head. Okay, so she's going to be able to find these doors a lot easier, hopefully, on Ash's chapter. Assuming she lives. On the other side is a passageway, an underground tunnel that has me mystified for a mere moment until I realize what it holds. Cells closed off by heavy iron bars line the sides. A general sense of death and decay lingers heavy, though the years should have taken away most, if not all, of the stench. Of the foul smell of humans and corpses alike being left to rot. Aren't corpses and humans the same thing? I guess there could be, like, rat corpses and cat corpses and stuff down here. The breeze, most likely coming from the other end of the passage that goes through, is to thank for that. If the place had been enclosed like a mausoleum, I imagine the odor would be fouler than it is now.
Dear Lord in St. Adelaide, bless these poor souls.
I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Though the architecture of their time was magnificent, human rights wasn't exactly a big thing back then. And if the Ermengarde mansion had a place like this hidden away, who knows what sorts of heinous acts were done down here. There was no time to dwell on it further, though. Not when a ghastly thing, a corpse of a woman, leans on the wall. Her arms and limbs, almost every inch of her lithe body, is peppered with wounds and rotting flesh. And it is then that the putrid smell of blood and gore hits me, making it so that I don't even question how I missed it in the first place.
How long has this been here? Ugh, that smell. Oh, you're a nasty one, aren't you?
I flinch as the thing twitches. And as soon as it opens its eyes and looks at me with a smile, there's nothing on my mind but horror. I break into a run. Okay, so are we back? Huh. Nope, this is all new apparently. Don't know whether to be excited or terrified. I try to keep on running, no matter how much my legs and feet scream at me to stop. I keep going, even when I look back and see nothing of her anymore, because I can still hear her. Yeah, this is all from before.
How long are these damn tunnels?
Alright, well apparently he doesn't recognize it, so... There's a split second where I know that thing is right behind me. A strange sensation creeping over my limbs when her presence looms over me. And then suddenly... I can't even do anything before I'm yanked by the hair and pulled back. Still, I struggle up until I'm thrown to the side like some rag doll. I hit the ground on my side, and the musty smell of old hay that reaches me is my only indication that I'm still alive.
Please don't hurt me!
My body hurts, and I keep my eyes shut tight, afraid of what might happen next.
What's wrong, Marianne? Are you really afraid of little old me?
There's a flash of hope. She can help me, save me from that thing. But as I see her smile, the same one that thing have, I know then that this isn't Lorraine. I'm a fool to think so in the first place. It never could have been her to begin with. The real Lorraine is dead. She looms over me, backs me further in the cell that I was thrown in.
What are you?
Here we go. Lorraine turns and shifts into that thing from before. And with that same gruesome grin, it takes a step forward towards the cell. Okay, are we now in the... Nope. Towards me. It really wants me to read this. I barely scramble to my knees when the door to the cell slams shut and it just stands there staring. Shouts for help ring out in the tunnels. But none of them are coming from me. I'm more paralyzed and shocked by what is happening. My throat tightens at being fooled by the image of Lorraine, at the thought of being trapped down here. So then, where?
Help me! Help me! Oh, help me! Are you getting all this on camera, Carl?
Call.
Yeah, but are you guys sure this is a good idea? We're breaking and entering here. Don't worry, the owners of this place haven't been here in a long time. Look at this thing, though. It has writing in blood like some cheesy 80s horror prop. Wait, I have an idea. Oh man, that's genius!
What kind of butthead would even take this thing seriously? Maybe we can stick this in Rowan's backpack. That's Suarez kid would panic.
Guys? Guys? What? Spit it out! Behind you!
There, in the corner of the cell, a digital camera comes flickering to life and a video has played back on the screen. It was hard to even consider paying any attention to it when my life is on the line. But when the ghost doesn't move and the teenagers' mocking shouts of "help me" filled the cell, I just had to watch. And what I had seen. Students, judging by their St. Goretti uniforms. They were holding...
That letter!
And that thing, the woman, she... And there's Charlotte. Well, she was in the cell, so I think she's alive. While trying to escape the Phantom disguising as her friend, Marianne discovered an underground prison hidden in the deepest corners of the mansion. Now trapped in one of its cells, she found a recording left behind by some of the mansion's victims. And that was the end. Okay! Oof. Finished 2 chapters in that one, so next time, I guess we're gonna work on the Becca and Ash relationship. I'll see you there, guys.